There has been both cheer and caution in the United States over the verdict in one of the country's most closely watched trials. Derek Chauvin has been convicted of murdering George Floyd in a case that sparked mass protests. The former police officer knelt on the unarmed black man's neck for more than 9 minutes. People cried, hugged and chanted in Minneapolis, where Mr Floyd was killed. Crowds also celebrated in other cities. Many see the guilty verdict as a turning point in the fight against racism and police brutality.
No one should be above the law. And today's verdict sends that message. But it's not enough. We can't stop here.
Well, Nick Harper joins us live. Nick, it's a step forward, but still a fair bit to go to end this systemic racism.
Well, yes, you're certainly right. And let's not forget that this conviction is an exception. It is exceptionally rare in the United States for a police officer to be convicted of murder, let alone manslaughter. One count suggests that in the last 15 years, just 7 police officers have been tried and convicted of murder. President Biden spoke about this rarity. He said that basic accountability is too rare. And in many ways, there is therefore a long way to go, not just to end racism in the United States, but tied to that, the police brutality by white officers against black Americans. President Biden spoke about it, as did George Floyd's brother, Terrence. And this is what he had to say about his hopes about where things will go from here.
This is a stepping stone. This is the beginning. This is not the say-all, end-all. So we still got some more work to do, and I believe that's my purpose, to make sure that bill get passed.
And he mentioned there a bill that he hopes Congress will pass. That bill is called the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act bill. Now, that has already been passed by the US House of Representatives. It includes a number of provisions to try and reform policing, including banning chokeholds, banning racial profiling. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle say that they want some sort of reform, but they are at loggerheads as to how to achieve that. And this George Floyd bill is unlikely to pass the Senate because it includes a provision that would remove immunity from police officers, means that they would be able to be sued. And that's something that so far Republicans have signalled that they're not willing to get behind.
And also in the meantime, the Chauvin team could still appeal the conviction?
They certainly could, and that is expected. They have got 60 days to appeal that conviction. The defence team for Derek Chauvin argue essentially he didn't get a fair trial. They say that the media coverage, the fact that that video of George Floyd's death was played around the world, simply prejudiced the potential juror pool, that far too many of them had seen biased media coverage in the run-up to the trial. They also say that a settlement in a civil lawsuit that Minneapolis paid to George Floyd's family, totaling about $27 million, also didn't prevent this being a fair trial. But the fact that we've had second-degree murder charge, third-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter, all of those ending in guilty convictions, an appeal is unlikely to succeed. Only about 90% of appeals in the US do succeed. And prosecutors say that they want to push for the maximum sentence, well above the 12 years that can be asked for. They say that they want something in the line of 40 years for Derek Chauvin, because they say his actions not just abused the position of his authority, but also showed that he treated Mr Floyd with particular cruelty.
Thanks very much for those updates. Nick Harper there from Washington, D.C.